Lord, you are so amazing.
Lord, you are so amazing.
Lord, you are strong and mighty.
Hi, I'm glad that you are at the Prescription Window, a program that is brought to you by the Kingstown Baptist Church, a member church of the Vincent and The Grenadines Baptist Convention. And we are trying to present the Word of God to you through this format. Just entering into your lives and talking about things in your lives and showing you how God is aware of all that's going on with you and in our society, and the fact that He has something to say and often does so through His Word. So the intent of the program is to get you to read the Word of God more, and some of it is so very specific and directed to your situation, and that's why we call the program Prescription Window. It is pretty much tantamount to one going to a pharmacy with a prescription to be filled because of an ailment and finds that the pharmacy has exactly the right thing for that ailment. But the thing is, you've got to take it. You can't just get the prescription and put it down. You've got to utilize it. So our hope is that you are actually utilizing the Word of God, not just reading it, but that you are practicing it, applying it, and living according to it in your life. We are happy to round off the year and get started. We're about finishing up 2013 and starting up 2014. Just about this time, you have wrapped up your Christmas celebration. And what a celebration. I just trust that you had a really, really good Christmas, that a lot of the things that you desired, a lot of things that you sought for, that you achieved them, and that you had a sense of peace and a sense of fulfillment. We are glad that many of you were able to enjoy some things that you would not have been able to enjoy all year. You know, as I observed, I noticed a lot of barrels, tons upon tons of barrels coming in. Just about every day I would see truck upon truck upon truck pass me with barrels, and I got to thinking that a lot of consumer products do come into St. Vincent. So I got to thinking, maybe this is good for the economy. This whole Christmas, Christmas is good for the businesses and Christmas is good for the economy. But then I got to thinking, now if all of these products are coming in by barrels, especially with the concession, which so many people are happy to enjoy the concessions that's offered by the government on clearing your barrels out of custom. But I'm thinking, if you're getting all of these products that we have been used to buying in the stores, and you're getting them come through the customs in the barrels, then there's no need, very little need for you to go to the store. So I was kind of watching the traffic in town for shopping. And, from the point of view of the nation, I know that a boost in the economy, an injection through the extended Christmas shopping is always good for the economy. But I wonder if there was not a little bit of a reverse effect on the fact that, one, the barrels are coming in and people don't need to buy as much as they need to buy. And secondly, I really got to thinking this. I wonder if there's not a reselling of some of the things that are coming in the barrels, so that rather than buy all you need at the store, you can buy it from somebody who brought it in a barrel. And the thing is, the person who's paying $20 or $30 or how much ever it is, you pay when the barrel comes in, as compared to someone who's bringing it in and has a store, the playing field is not quite level there. So these are some of the thoughts that were going through my mind with respect to the economy, with respect to the commercial aspect of Christmas. And mind you, there is a commercial aspect. That aside, Christmas is not about the commerce. Christmas is not about the economics. Christmas is not about whether or not the business did well, though I would hope that they would do well because it means well for the nation. But Christmas is more about the relationships, the friendship. Christmas is more about the spirituality, the religious aspect, focusing upon God and His desire to be near us through the form of His Son, Jesus Christ. So I hope that from that angle that your Christmas was a very fulfilling one. This year was a little bit different because of the rains. I've never seen anything like this in my life. I've been on terra firma for a few years now, and I can't recall ever hearing thunder this late in December. In fact, I don't know if I've heard thunder in December at all ever before. And prolonged lightning, of the sort that we had on Christmas Eve night. I mean, listen, I've never seen anything like that. I've never experienced anything like that. And then the floods that put a damper in many ways on the Christmas celebration. And for those of you who experience loss immediate in your family or in your extended family and relatives and friends, we do extend our condolences here from KBC, Kingstown Baptist Church. Because Christmas is really a time to be celebrating and to be joyful rather than to be sorrowful and mournful. Also, our prayers are with the nation, with the people of Nemo, as they continue to respond to this disaster, and to the leadership of this country, the Prime Minister and those of his cabinet who continue to give leadership through crisis. You know, one of the things I've often said, while we do not want crises to happen, one of the things that we say is that the mettle of true leadership comes through, particularly during crisis, when we sense and see the directions and the affirmations that are given and the confidence with which we seek to lift people's heads again. And we look for all of this through those who are responsible for leading our nation forward. So it is quite okay, and it is quite in order to say that many of us are in a very contemplative, reflective mood at this season of joy. And as we turn the corner into a new year, many are still contemplating. And the thing is that most are turning their focus to God, either in terms of the questions that they have or in terms of the affirmation of their faith, knowing that God will see them through this. Now, on this program, we want to talk a little bit about new start, making a new start. And it's going to be interesting, it's going to be exciting as we share some things with you about the new start that you should be making in 2014. So please stay with us. And when we come back after the break, we'll be ready to talk to you about a new start.
Lord, you are so amazing.
Lord, you are so amazing.
Lord, you are strong and mighty.
Well, thank you for staying with us beyond the break. And for those of you who are just joining us, we're kind of wrapping up the 2013 year on prescription window, and we are projecting some things for 2014. And on this side of the break, we're going to talk about making a new start. And once we start talking about things of making a new start, a fresh start, a new beginning, we are talking about the concept of change. And change in and of itself is one of the most potent words in the English language. It's a powerful word, igniting feelings of excitement, igniting exuberance and freshness and newness. People love change, particularly if it is going to put them in a better situation that they're in. They want change in so many different aspects of their life. They want change in their health. They're tired of going to the doctor's office every Monday morning because of some issue in their stomach or in their head or some part of them, maybe because of some poor lifestyle or poor habits, not good health maintenance, and they're tired of doctor's office. You're like, this is going to change for 2014. People want change in their finances. You're tired of paying back loans and paying back on a hired purchase. And those who do credit cards, you're fed up. You want to cut up the credit cards. You want to do something different. You're tired of the financial noose around your neck. And you're screaming, begging, wanting some financial freedom. God only knows how long you've been able to put aside $100. $500, $1,000. When last you were able to do that? Just living hand to mouth, and you're like, this is ridiculous. It's got to change. Somehow or the other, it's got to change for 2014. Somehow your financial situation has got to improve. You want to change there. People want to change in politics. Notice I said politics and not government. A lot of people confuse the two. I'm not calling here for a change in government. I am saying some of the ways in which politics is done and executed, you know, you're tired of the way it plays out, and you want to see more congenial playing field in the politicking, and that's exactly what I'm saying. Please read me right, and you want it to be done in a more responsible manner. It's okay to call for a change in that, and to advocate it, and to agitate for a change in politics, changes in relationships, or changes in spirituality. In fact, one of the areas in which people look to change when they're wanting to make a fresh start is in the area of spirituality. A lot of people are going to find themselves in churches in the early part of this year. You know, All Year's Night, thousands of Vincentians go to churches, and then the Sunday after that, the very first Sunday of the year, in fact, throughout the first month of the year, January, the church attendance is generally up. You know why? That's because people are looking for a new connection with God. So if you have not already planned that kind of change in your life, it's a good time of the year to make this kind of change. So that's what it is, making a fresh start. And the start of this year, 2014, is a time when you can make a fresh start in all of these things. But the question that people often ask is, how am I going to pull this off? I mean, change is good, but what are the steps that I have to take to get the change that I want? You know, every year, 2010, around this time, you say you want change. 2011, as it rolls into a new year, you want change. 2012, you did say. 2013, okay, but 2014, you want it to be different. It's not just saying, I want change, or it's not just saying, I want a fresh start. It is actually, what am I going to do to get a fresh start? Now, one of the things I love talking about and to instructing people in is in this arena of change. I've done it throughout my life. I've been, I call myself often an agent of transformation. Because that's my role, to talk to people about how they can get change. So I want to recommend 3 steps for all Vincentians, 3 steps to move you towards change. And the first one of these is basically this: assess your current situation. Now, everyone can do that. What are the tools of assessment? Do a cost-benefit analysis, not necessarily in the way an accountant will do it, but just ask yourself some very simple questions. Whether it is in a relationship or in a home, or you're shacking up with somebody, you ask, what is it costing you financially? And then what is it costing you emotionally? And then what is it costing you in terms of physically? You losing things? Is someone beating up on you in order that you can have a roof over your head? What is it costing you? And then what is it benefiting you? What are you getting out of it? I think it's provided for you, clothing provided for you, somebody is buying a cell phone for you, somebody is paying your school fees for you. In every situation, whether it is in relationship or housing situation, or whatever it is, there's a cost-benefit dynamic at play. And once you begin to see that, you begin to ask yourself, what's it costing you physically, emotionally, spiritually, etc., and how are you benefiting physically, emotionally, spiritually, etc. It's a very simple tool of analysis, cost benefit. And some people are in relationships that's costing them, and you're really paying out more, not necessarily monetarily, but you're paying out more than you're getting back. Your emotional investment is more than you're getting back. You're the giver, somebody else is a taker, and you're not on the receiving end. Cost benefit analysis like that is pretty easy to do. So my first step that I'm advocating to you is simply this: assess your current situation. And then as you assess it and you ask yourself, what is it costing you? And what is it benefiting you? How is it benefiting you? You also have to ask yourself, how long have you been in that kind of situation? Because an old adage, an old truism is this. It sounds confusing, but this is an old truism. The longer things stay the way they are, is the longer things are going to stay the way they are. Are you confused yet? Let me say it again. The longer things stay the way they are, is the longer things are going to stay the way they are. So what that is saying, unless you get up and begin to push hard for change, things are not going to change. The longer things stay the way they are, then it's going to remain that way on and on. It's going to remain that way into 2014 unless you advocate change it. But you're not going to advocate changing it unless you assess it and see how much it is costing you. People are in financial situations. People make financial deals that are costing them. People hook up with toxic people, the wrong people. People are with the wrong party, with the wrong situation, in the wrong course, in the wrong environment. Is costing them, and people need to say, this is not good, this is not ideal, I am not in equilibrium here, I've got to get out, I've got to make a change. And you can't do that unless you assess. People are not going to change unless there's the impetus. And where's that going to come from? If you don't assess it and see what it's doing to you, if you don't see what the drinking is doing to you, if you don't see what the substance abuse is doing to you, if you don't see how a particular behavioral pattern is affecting you and affecting others around you, you are not going to change it. You've got to assess it before you change. Stay with us. We're going to take a short break now, and then we will come right after the break and give you the second step for your new start. Stay with us.
Lord, you are so amazing.
Lord, you are so amazing.
Lord, you are strong and mighty.
Well, thank you for staying with us. On the other side of the break, we were talking about the fact that you can't change. Despite all you want to change for 2014, you can't change unless you assess your situation and you see what it is doing to you. Until you see that there are some things wrong with your situation, whether it's living or relationship or finance or health, unless you can see something wrong, you're not going to change. You know, I have to give you a biblical perspective because this is prescription window and we give biblical prescription here. You know, there's a young chap over in Luke chapter 15 and verse 17. We refer to him as a prodigal son. He's just a young man, typical of young men. And he had pretty much engaged in wild living, and he was living it up. But as it is with that kind of wanton living, that kind of clubbing and partying and nice time living, which a lot of people are inclined to do. And, you know, people want to have their fun, they go out and do this thing. But then eventually you come to your senses, which the Bible is so clear that this young man came to his senses. That's why I love the Bible. The Bible is right on when it assesses how these things affect us. Eventually all these people who are engaged in wild living and partying and the edgy lifestyle, eventually they're going to come to their senses. Check out Luke chapter 15 and verse 17. He came to his senses and he started assessing where he was in relation to where he could have been. He said, look where I am. I'm pretty much in the hog pen of life. And other people are elsewhere. He used the term the Father's house, and they're having a good time. And they're enjoying a lot more than I am enjoying. And I could actually move my situation to a better situation and enjoy all of that. So the prodigal boy came to his senses. He assessed the situation. On this side of the break, I want to give you the second step, and it is this. Anticipate the change. You're going into 2014, you have to begin to anticipate the kind of change you want. When I say anticipate, what I mean, see it, envision it, have a sense of what it's going to look like. What are you going to shoot for? What are you going to aim at? You have to anticipate what it's going to look like. You have to articulate it clearly. In fact, those of you who are into goal setting goals, and some of you are going to set goals for the new year. One of the old adages, the acronym here, set SMART goals, SMART. Most people who teach about goals or tell you about goals will tell you this. Your goals have to be SMART. And every letter of that word, SMART, stands for something. The S stands for specific. Don't just say, okay, I'm going to lose weight this new year. Come on, you've got to be more specific than that. Say I'm going to lose X amount of pounds. Specify it's going to be 5 pounds. It's going to be 10 pounds. It's going to be 15 pounds. Be very specific what you want to do. You want to lose weight. Or you can't just say I'm going to make changes in the new year. Specify what change is it. Am I going to change my hairstyle? I'm going to cut it. What am I going to do? Am I going to change my language, how I speak? I'm going to cut out all of the obscenities and what? Just specify what the change is going to be. You have to do that. And then it has got to be measurable. You've got to say X amount. I refer to the weight. Most people are saying, boy, after the Christmas holidays, after all that ham and sweet bread and golly, cake, and I've got to lose some weight. But don't just say that. Make it measurable. That's what the M is for. Make it measurable. Okay, are you getting me? It's got to be specific. It's got to be measurable. And then the A in SMART it's got to be attainable. Don't go crazy and hog wild. Okay, I'm going to lose 100 pounds. You're ridiculous. You're being ridiculous. You're being stupid. You're not going to lose 100 pounds. It is not attainable. You are not going to lose 100 pounds. Make it realistic then. When I say attainable, make it realistic. I'm going to lose 15 pounds. That's more realistic than I'm going to lose 150 pounds. So your goals have to be SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, and they have to be relevant. Some people are setting goals about losing weight when you have far more burning issues in your life. The substance that you're abusing that is killing you is cutting off a year or 2 or 3 off your lifespan, or the toxicity of the relationship that you're in, or the things that you're entangled in that you need to change for a better lifestyle. Those are far more important than your weight. So there has to be a relevance. Don't set some flimsy, superficial, peripheral goal that is meaningless when there are more fundamental things. So the R in SMART, your goal has to be relevant. And the T, your goal has to be time specific or time bound. People set goals, but you have to say within a particular time. You say, by the end of January, I'm going to lose 2 pounds. Okay, don't be crazy and say 15 pounds. By the end of January, we're going to lose 2 pounds. Or by the end of January, I'm going to move up my suitcase. And then I'm going to move up my furniture. And then by the end of February, I'm going to stop using his car. I'm going to stop going up to her house or whatever. You have to make it time specific so that you know within particular frames of time that this is what is going to be achieved. If you don't make your goals time bound, time just rolls on and you're still in the same situation. And making your goals time specific help you to assess whether you're passing or failing. If you say, I'm going to do something by the end of January, and you write it down, and by the end of January you have not done that, then you know that you're lapsing and you're messing things up. So you have to set a time frame when you're going to accomplish your goal. Stay with us. We'll come back after the break and talk about the third step in making a fresh start. Stay with us.
Lord, you are so amazing.
Lord, you are so amazing.
Lord, you are strong and mighty.
Well, thank you for staying with us. If you just joined us, you are now watching The Prescription Window, and I'm talking to you about a prescription for a new beginning, making a fresh start in this new upcoming year, 2014. And what I've actually been doing, I've been offering various steps that you can take if you actually want to make changes. And the first step that I offered was simply this: assess where you are, your situation. What is it costing you? Is there really any need for change, any impetus, anything that would make it catalytic that you would definitely need to change? You have to assess. And then the second thing that you have to do is to anticipate the change or articulate what it's going to look like. Pretty much like the prodigal boy did, not in Luke chapter 15. In verse 17, not only did he assess where he was and saying, look, I'm in the hog pen and I could be in my father's house. This is bad. This is not good. I want something better. But he actually anticipated the change, and he spelled out in verse 18. He said what he wanted, that he was going to go back to the father, that he was going to clean up his life. And even if he had to become like one of the hired servants, he would take that, but he wanted a change. So he assessed his situation, and then he anticipated the change that he wanted. And some of you need to anticipate whether you're going to stop cussing like a sailor, or that you're going to stop running around, like a buck, stop partying as if partying is going out of style, as if there's no tomorrow. You're going to stop the toxic living. Some of the relationship that you're in, you need to just cement it and make it firm, or you just need to get out. It's just not good for you. Well, whatever it is, anticipate it and spell it out and say, I am going to do this. Okay, that brings me to the third point, the third step that I want to share with you. Can you guess what it is? Go ahead and guess. The first one is assess your situation. And the second one is to anticipate what the change is going to look like. All right, go ahead and guess. The third step is what a lot of people miss, and it is this: you've got to act upon your decision. And that's exactly what the prodigal boy did. He acted upon his decision because he was committed. He bound himself to that. He says, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go do it. And a lot of people, it's not just in the talk, but it's in the action. Because talk comes easy. Action speaks louder than words, or so they say. Resolute action is going to take commitment. It's like handcuffing yourself, binding up yourself, tying up yourself to the course of action that you can't escape. Is like handcuffing yourself to what you say you're going to do and throwing away the key. So come what may, come hell or high water, you have to do it. Well, a lot of people get out of what they say they're going to do. They start off the year saying, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. And it's just not going to happen. You know why? Because of all of the what ifs. What if this? What if that? or people criticize them. Say you start losing weight and people start criticizing you. Watch how you come like a stick. Where you going, girl? Where you going, boy? You know, that kind of nonsense. And you take that on. you give up. Sometimes people don't see immediate results. So you try something for a week, or you try something for 2 weeks. Or sometimes you know, whether in relationship you give the cold shoulder or you back off, and it works for a week or it works for 2. But the kind of impact you wanted it to have, it's not having. You're not seeing immediate results. You know what? You give up and you go right back to where you were, which is utter nonsense. And sometimes even when you start making a change, sometimes this is life. You have a setback, and what you said that you were going to do, it doesn't work out. And you just give up flat. And it's not supposed to be like that. You're supposed to keep on acting. So when I say act upon your decision, I'm not meaning to say act on it in January. I mean keep on acting in February and March and April and May. Just keep on pursuing what you say you're going to do. Eventually, you are going to get there. Listen, Kingstown Baptist Church, KBC, is fully behind you. Anyone that's going to make positive changes for the new year, whether it's in your financial arrangements or in how you do politics or in your health, or how you handle your health, how you handle your relationships, and even more so in your spirituality, how you relate to God. The Kingstown Baptist Church is behind you 100%. Keep remembering throughout this year the parable of the prodigal. That's a great prescription for change. How he assessed the situation, Luke 15. How he anticipated what the change was going to look like. And how in verse 20 of Luke 15, he actually got up and went back. He actually acted. And so that's going to be your paradigm for change for the new year. And guess what? Kingstown Baptist Church, KBC, is behind you 100%. We want to thank you for watching Prescription Window. Some of you have watched all year. Some of you have come on board of late. But we want to thank you for watching this and the comments that you make and how you're allowing it to impact your lives. I tell you what, this new year, start it off right. Start it off with the most fundamental change of all in your relationship with God. And find a church where you can go early in the new year. Old Year's night started, and then go into New Year's first Sunday and keep on going, worshiping God. Certainly the KBC, Kingstown Baptist Church, meeting upstairs the Russell's complex over there in Stony Ground opposite the JC's building. You know where it's at. 10 o'clock every Sunday. I'm telling you, we are taking quite a view to help people change early in the new year. And a lot of people who come there are going to find that the messages and the services and the worship, everything is geared towards connecting you with God and giving you the change that you need for the new year. So don't miss out on that opportunity. Well, the Kingstown Baptist Church certainly wishes all of our viewers the very best in the upcoming year 2014. And we pray that as you walk with God and as you obey His precepts and as you do what He says to do, that the blessings will overflow in your life and in your family's life and in those around you who walk according to the Word of God. May God bless you as you do that.
Lord, you are so amazing.